Okay, all right, let's give this a try. I'm doing something new. Hopefully, y'all can hear me. All right. I mean, make sure I'm on Do Not Disturb and all this fun stuff. Folks, it's been a minute. It's been a minute. Last week was pretty wild. And I guess before I officially get started, I want to say I've made a couple changes to my stream. So there could be some hiccups. You may be hearing music right now. Let me know if you hear music. And oh, maybe you don't. Hold on. What's going on here? I can see that it's not moving. Hmm. Hmm. One second. Nope, no music. Okay. Let me see. It might be turned down too much. Do you hear music now? This is dynamic streaming right here, talking about whether or not you can hear music. No. Okay. Interesting. Okay. That's frustrating if you can't hear music. Okay. So I've been watching other streamers. I'm going to turn, see, I hear it and I got to turn it down because I feel like I can't hear you, even though it's not like I can hear you while I'm streaming, but such is my brain. I've been watching other streamers who do similar streams, co working, body doubling, write ins, creative sprints, writing sprints. They go by so many different names. And I've been watching, at least, there is at least one glitch. Right. Yes. It's not a stream without some kind of problems. um, but I've been watching these other streams and wondering how they're doing what they're doing. One, how are they playing music? How is it, copyright free? How are they not getting tagged? How are they playing it through their stream? How are they controlling it? All these things. I spent some time. Now, here's the thing. Last week, here's the chatting part. Okay, my last week was so wild. If you follow any of my socials, I'm sure I shared about it, but my son's 18th birthday happened. I had my other son, my older son, come in from out of town. He's in the Navy, so it's always, if he comes in, I'm dropping everything because we don't get to see him all that often. And then we had family from Utah come in from out of town, and it was also so Wednesday was my son's birthday. So Monday, Tuesday, I was busy, just trying to clean house. We just finally had the kitchen renovations done. Tuesday, I had to go see my mom and take care of my mom, and she's living from out of town. Thank you so much, Blade Zeus. And it so I had no time to prepare for Wednesday, which was actually my son's birthday. Everyone is descending upon us on Wednesday. And of course, I have to feel like, I want to entertain. I want to make sure people are comfortable. Do we have food? Is the house clean enough to host after renovations? And then Wednesday evening was my son's concert. We had Wednesday evening and Thursday evening, two different concerts because he plays a million different instruments. So he is in all the bands. So Wednesday night was a concert. Thursday night was a concert. Friday he had school, and we had a little bit of time to do something as a family before Saturday. So we did cherry picking in where I live. U-pick is a huge thing. There's a bunch of U-pick farms, and cherry picking is the major thing that happens in our area. People descend from out of town, out of state, apparently all over the world. I asked the U-pick farm that we were at, like, what's the most insane thing, like, of someone who has come in from out of the world or out of, gosh, I'm a writer, folks. I'm a writer. I can use words. um, anyway, the farmer said, we have this one woman who comes in from Vietnam and will pick 200 pounds of cherries and somehow bring them back home and then sell them. Now, right now, cherries at the U-Pick farms are like $4.50 a pound. and she can sell them in Vietnam for like $20 a pound. So it pays for her entire trip and then some, which is just wild. And I'm still trying to understand how she ships back like 200 pounds of cherries and they survive. But anyway, so, oh, Dr. Platorius redeemed dramatic reading. I haven't had this done yet, and I'm not in the middle of writing something. So the purpose of the dramatic reading is that whatever I'm working on, I will read it to you in a very dramatic voice. Now, what I have in front of me here is the Spring Jazz Concert program. Be prepared. Here we go. Liberty High School Band Program proudly presents our Spring Jazz Concert. May 7th, 2026 at 7 p.m., Alan Jones Performing Arts Center. The jazz director is Lindsay Kellogg. The jazz director is Jennifer Cray. And the jazz combo director is Joan Cifarelli. Now, I will tell you, for the jazz concert, my son had a few trumpet solos and a jammin' trombone solo, which was just so cool. And then on the other concert night, which is more like symphonic wind ensemble, they did play one kind of, it was odd. It was a jazzy kind of piece for a concert night, but he plays bassoon on that night and French horn. And I guess they were doing solos, and his band director, he had asked his band director, can I try to do a jazz solo on bassoon? And she was like, I don't know. Like, they tried to nix it a few times, and then like 2 days before the concert, they figured out how to make it loud enough, because it's just not an instrument that's used for jazz. And so they found a way with a microphone to like make it hearable to the audience so that they could enjoy the jazz solo on a bassoon, which is wild. So anyway, back to you pick cherries. Anyway, so that was my Friday. And then Saturday we had more people come in because you know what? I'm just going to share. Let's do this. I have my chatting with screen share so y'all can see. This is my Facebook right now. But this is where I have some photos so I can at least share with you a little bit of my wild, wild weekend. How do I make that go away? Can I make that go away? There we go. That's my Navy son. He came in from Southern California. He lives in the desert. Hey there, just dropping in a hello. Finished work a few minutes ago. Oh, that's awesome. Thanks for dropping in. So you just missed a really awesome dramatic reading. I love that people are cashing in those pretty nerdy points. Yeah, so this is my son, Jonathan. He just turned 29. I can't believe I have a 29-year-old. So this is us cherry picking. Cherry picking always happens around Mother's Day, so it's been one of my favorite Mother's Day things to do. And there's my other son, Cash, with his significant other, Ash. We decided we were going to call him the Ash Squared or Cash 2, because it's just kind of a mouthful to be like Cash and Ash. I'm not sure. But they're lovely. All right. And then, of course, so here's Saturday. We had our twin birthday parties, I guess you want to call them. So this is a whole nother story, and I could probably talk about it during one of the other breaks in between focus time. But my son, my best friend, and I got pregnant together, and our due dates were 2 days apart. And then, of course, you know, pregnancies don't necessarily go as planned. We didn't expect to have our kids together 2 days apart, even though the due dates were 2 days apart. And yet it still happened. So they have grown up together, almost like twins. I don't know if you can see, every single picture in this banner is them. I have a little video here. Let's see if it shows. That's me and her pregnant with them. And then all throughout the years, the two of them. So Jimmy and Cash, they've been together since before birth. And so we got to celebrate their 18th birthday this weekend, which was so much fun. So yeah, I'll have to tell you the story. It is a wild, wild story. Like, if I ever write a biography of just how this happened with my husband's ex-girlfriend being my best friend, and then we were in each other's weddings, and then we planned our kids together, and then it's all on my blog if you ever find all the links to all my things and go read my blog. But and then she proceeded to have a girl. I stopped after Cash, and she decided to have another one. And her daughter is very me. Like, if you were to meet, okay, look at Cash and look at Jimmy. So on the right is Cash, on the left is Jimmy. Cash is very dark haired and exuberant and just like outgoing, and then Jimmy is very much like his mom, a little lighter haired, a little paler, but also very quiet, very reserved. Unless you get to know him, and then he'll let his true colors fly. And that is exactly Amy. So me and Amy, exactly opposites, and yet we're best friends and had our kids together. It's just wild. So anyway, Saturday was a humongous day, very busy all day. And then Sunday was Mother's Day. And that's my father-in-law in the back. I don't know if you can see that. He decided to troll their picture. So, yeah, there you go. That's his true personality right there. And then there's my son's personality. And of course, this is one of my favorite things to do during the summer is to float. So we rented a house that had access to water, and that was me and my sister-in-law. I was tugging her behind my kayak. The best Mother's Day weekend. Yeah, there we go. That's me. It's such a bummer you guys can't hear the music I set up, but whatever. So anyway, all that to say, last week was super duper busy. I had been catching some streams and figuring out how can I do what they're doing? How can I upgrade my stream? Yeah, there we go. Love this picture. I'm just going to scroll through them real quickly. We had 2 different birthday cakes. I guess one was brownies, but that's us singing happy birthday. And that's my niece, of course. She is just a monster. All right. So my week was wild. I had no time to breathe and catch up. But in between pockets, like, I don't know, going to the bathroom, or I'm catching these other streams and going, okay, they're playing music. How do I do that? I spent some time yesterday trying to figure it out, but yesterday was a Monday, so it was very much catching up with work and catching up with life, and oh my gosh, we need groceries. And so I thought I figured it out. I spent another 2.5 hours this morning trying to figure out the music, and I knew it still wasn't gonna, there was just no way to know if it worked until I went live. So I'm a little bummed. I'm a little bummed after all that work that you guys don't hear music. Let me turn this up again one more time. People tell me, do you hear music? If I turn this up, do you hear music? Okay. While I'm waiting for a response. My daughter has a friend like this. Oh, that's so nice, Doc. Still no music. Thanks, Blade Zeus. Okay, well, only I get to enjoy the music. I guess I am just that awesome. So, what I changed about my stream for today, do I use stream elements? No. But here's the thing is, I think part of my problem is I'm on a Mac and I'm running off of Streamlabs desktop. And my research is showing that like that combination is just the most limiting. I probably need to move things over to OBS. Yeah, and then what music program am I using? So my Google research told me to do Pretzel Rocks. I also tried to find a way. I really enjoy, there's a website called Moby Gratis, and it is Moby's music that he has made available for creators, free to use as long as you credit Moby Gratis. And that's all you have to do is just put hashtag Moby Gratis and all that music is free. And I really enjoy that music. So I was trying to figure out how to do that. I even downloaded some thinking maybe I stream it from like an application instead of, from a browser. Nothing was working. Okay, Blade Zeus, I love this. I would love to hear from you. Are you able to use Spotify and it is um, copyright free, because it needs to be copyright free on Twitch and on YouTube. So that's, I would love to hear from you if you have that set up. But I really, really do think that the limitations are because I'm on Mac and Streamlabs desktop. Everyone is telling me OBS has way more functionality. I might just have to take some time to kind of move things over to better platforms. Well, that's interesting. I didn't know that you could search Spotify for copyright free music. I mean, thank you. This is what community is for. Thank you so much. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to look at it. It just, this is one of those things that eats away at like my motivation and creativity. Like, I just feel like if something, I Google it, I YouTube it, and they're just like, yeah, it should be like 2 minutes. Click this, install this, boom, done. It's done, stress free. And I'm like, no, that's not my experience, and it's just not. So I've been a little drained already today. I think I'm ready to just give up on music for now. I can hear music, which I guess keeps me motivated. I do feel like it just feels a little awkward for the stream. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. People say it's fine. I just feel like maybe having just a little faint music in the background could help, especially because the other change I'm going to do to this when I do my writing sprints and my creative sprints is I think I might have some longer blocks of focus time in between. The 25 minutes is fine, and I'm getting things done, but I definitely feel more on, and like I need to be prepared to present, entertain, and I just think that I could get more done. I mean, I want this to mimic what I have already been doing in Discord, because it has been working for me in Discord, and I feel a little more, I don't know, anxiety or pressure to entertain when the chat, when my focus time is shorter and my chats, are just kind of interrupting my focus time. And I do want to chat with y'all. That's the thing. So again, watching other streams, I'm noticing their streams, they've got like 50-minute blocks of focus time and then just 5 minutes of chat, which is like, I don't know, I need to find my happy medium. So there's going to be some testing along the way of, chat. What's the sweet spot for me of focus time and chat time in between? So today I'm going to try 45 minutes of focus time. But the thing that I've noticed other streams do is during the focus time, they are still popping in and out of chat. Before, I was just heavily focused. I am only writing. I want to be able to show you all that I'm performing and writing. And so I'm, sharing my screen and letting you all watch what I'm working on. What they're doing is they are not sharing their screen. You're just looking at them focusing. So I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is I'm going to try out a few different formats. I'm going to try out this format that I saw and see how it goes. But I will be popping in and out of chat. I am not going to be 100% focused on what I'm doing because I do want to continue to be engaged with everyone in chat. But I will have longer pockets of not talking time, which could be interesting. Yeah, stress-free. That's what I want. Easy peasy. Okay, so let's see. How long have I been on stream already? My God, it's already been 27 minutes. So I think it's probably time to focus. Excuse me. All right, so if you're here and you cash in on any of those pretty nerdy points, just know that I will tackle those in the next chat period. I am going to be focusing. You know what? I said 45 minutes. I don't know, like maybe 40 minutes. 35 minutes? I don't know. Let's do 40. I'm going to do 40. We're going to try 40. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, so Blades said, at least you're able to put yourself on the screen, and I still don't have the self-esteem to do that. Um, you know, I hear you about that. This last year has definitely been a year of like loving myself in all forms with not a lot of makeup, letting y'all see me with my glasses, letting you see me with my weird focus faces and talking to myself. Um, yeah, it's a year of learning to love myself and just let things go. And you know what? Let people see this the way that it really is. So it's definitely there. The self consciousness is there. Um, I am just mentally letting myself let go of that load. All right. So here's the other thing I want to try real quick. I'm going to move over to here. Okay. So y'all should be able to see the new screen. And why is the chat not showing up? Where's the chat box? Okay. So oh, maybe it's just because there it is. There it is. Can people see the chat box on my screen? Is that just me? Because that's the other thing I noticed is they had the chat up on the stream. I liked that. I also have this little kind of ad reel on the bottom that's just going to cycle through some things that I want to share with y'all. Is it completely readable? No. But, oh no, that's just me again. See? So y'all can't see the chat box on the stream. What if I send a chat? Testing. You see it now. Testing. Everyone see the chat on the screen. Anybody else here watch Bob's Burger? If anybody else watches Bob's Burger, my husband tells me I'm like Linda so much. I just break out into song anytime I'm doing something. I'm doing laundry and I'm just going to start singing to myself. Hey, that's cool. I forgot that I set that up. First time chat, sound alerts. There's a little code to use my Amber 150 to get 150 off of the Traveling Dragon Tabletop Cruise. Folks, some things are working. Okay, not a bad start. Wait, did the chat go away? Did the chat go? Does it only show up if like people are actively chatting? Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. Boy, this is a roller coaster ride. I was like, woo, happy, everything's working. Wait, where did it go? I don't know where it went. You have your own box. What do you mean, Doc? What do you mean you have your own box? Oh, you have your own chat box? Also, I made these little... I really need to figure out how to make this bigger, the text bigger. I just decided to put up a bunch of pictures of Jones and like, he looks sad. And if you support him now, I was going to maybe add a tip jar, support him now, then maybe he could sit a little closer to me. And I could get one of those chairs where he can just sit right next to me and be on stream all the time. Okay. All right. Well, it's time, folks. It's time. I have stalled long enough. It's time to focus. Yeah, I know. Going to Genghis Khan next year for the second time. Genghis Khan was super special. I think that might have to be on my mandatory every year. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Because someone from Gooey Cube got you there. Yeah, me too. Me too. I would not have been there without Gooey Cube. Big props to Gooey Cube for getting me there. My pics are coming up in the bottom corner. Awesome. All right. Thank you. All right, folks. Let's get started. I am going to focus for 40 minutes. I will be in and out of the chat. I think for now I'm not going to mute myself because people seem to like it when I talk to myself while I'm working. If I have to step away, because hey, 40 minutes is a long time to not go to the bathroom when you're my age. So I can either let y'all see this background without me in my chair. Feel free to peruse the D&D things that are behind me, or I can just pop up quietly with no sound the ad for the tabletop cruise. Um, we'll see. We'll test it out and see what y'all like. But if I have to go to the bathroom, it's not going to be for very long. I will just be back. Happy focusing. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for stopping by. Talk to y'all soon. Okay, so I am going to get started. I'm going to start this here and we're going to focus for 40 minutes, folks. I'll be in and out of the chat. I hope you guys have a good time body doubling, co-working, whatever you're working on. Whatever you're working on, let me know. If you're going to stick around for this 40 minutes of focus, put it in the chat. Let me know what you are working on. Here is what I am going to be working on. I have some day job stuff that I still got to do, which is another reason why I took off some of the screen share stuff. And then I have a new to be announced project. Let's just say that. Where I have to submit a few things to just get that ball rolling. So I'm going to be doing that. Let's see. What else do I have? I have. Oh, where's my? Here it is. Okay. Oh, I have some edits. So the fiction story, the horror fiction story that I submitted was accepted. They requested just a few minor edits. So I will actually be doing some writing and working on updating that. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's definitely enough for the next 40 minutes. Thanks for popping in and out, Blade Zeus. I appreciate you. And Doc, you're going to be working on digital editing, final pieces for the Last Dog Standing game. I'm excited to hear about that. All right, folks, we're 35 minutes in. I have wasted enough time, almost the same amount of time chatting as I would be focusing. So it's time to focus. Here we go. See you after 40 minutes. Where's my to-do list? There we go. All right. Whoa. Oh no. My timer went off. I think I'm live. I think I'm live. I'm going to wait for chat to let me know. But I my timer went off and I was like, "All right." And then all of a sudden my stream just decided to shut down. I just don't even know what happened. Thanks, Doc, for the confirmation. Um Let me get back to I liked being on. Oh, you never lost me. Oh, well, I guess that's good. Boy, my stream shut down, Streamlabs shut down, everything just went dark. Um Good thing I don't panic under pressure, I guess. That could have been embarrassing. Um all right, so I'm just going to start this little timer here so I can at least keep an eye on how long we're chatting. Um but for those of you who are still here, how was that for you? Because that 40 minutes felt very much like a sweet spot. Now, granted, that was the first time we did that, right? I mean, testing usually requires some iteration, but that 40 minutes was exactly the amount of time I needed to wrap up everything for my day job, so that I can just kind of have a little bit of a break with you. And then I can move into creative work, which feels very satisfying for me. That was just such a clean break. Thank you for redeeming hydrate. Now, I know coffee is probably not hydration. That is my coffee. But I do also have water. Now, I've been changing out different teacups for my streams today because it's just been, catching up after a very hectic week. We're not doing teacup because I probably need a good amount of hydration. So, can you guys see this? Yeah. Like, I'm not sponsored by them at all, but I will tell you that this is my favorite drinking, which, by the way, I still haven't done it yet. Let me do that real quick. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, I hate water. Let's talk about this for a minute since we're in the chat. We're in the chat time. I absolutely hate water. I hate drinking water. I think water is disgusting. It just has a flavor about it, which I know everybody's like, it doesn't have a flavor. It's water. I get it. I understand you, and I can see how people think that. To me, it has a flavor that is disgusting. So I hate it. But I also know from taking care of my mom, and, I can see there are certain inherited traits that I have. She is always dehydrated and she never drinks water, probably for the same reason. So I have tried my best in my adult years to just find a way to stay hydrated, find a way to like water. So, you know, even if it's I'm going to flavor my water. I do use things to flavor my water, but because of my other conditions, it has to be like sugar-free and all these things. So putting fruit in your water, lemon slices in your water, all those things, fine. It's fine. For a regular day-to-day basis where I just can be brainless and not think about it, I have like Mio or what they call beverage enhancers that I can just squirt a little few drops and it's just enough flavor in there for me to feel like it's not water. So that helps. But even with that, I would struggle to just get down in one day one of those little, like, store bought, you can buy it at the gas station, clear plastic water bottles. I can't even do that in a day without some real effort. So, this last Christmas, I was at my sister-in-law's house and she had one of these. She actually had a bigger one. And she kept saying that she drinks so much more water because it has a straw, and that there's something about drinking out of a straw that makes it so much easier for her to get down water, which to me just sounds like a bunch of mumbo jumbo. I'm like, come on. It's just a fad. These are cool new cups that everybody wants, like those Starbucks cups that people collect, whatever, But I was making a concerted effort to drink water while I was there, and she said, "Why don't you borrow one?" So I borrowed one for the entire week that I was there. And I will tell you, in one day, I downed like 3 of them. And her bottle is bigger than mine, the one that I have right now. So it did something to my brain where I was like, maybe there is something to the straw for me, maybe not for everyone, but there is something about the straw that makes it so that I am drinking perhaps more water per chug. Is that a is that a measurement? Water per chug. I don't know what it is, but it makes it easier. So I was instantly sold. And now I'm also afraid to even try it with any other brand. It has to be the same brand because my brain's telling me that it has to be. So I immediately went out and got a few of these for myself. So this is my daily drinker now. And I will say, without concerted effort, I can at least get one of these down, which is probably the equivalent of 2 of those clear plastic water bottles without thinking about it. If I'm being very good about it, I can get 3 of these down in a day. And I still think that's probably not good enough. When I look at how much water my husband drinks and how much water my son drinks, which both of my sons actually, I'm so proud of them for doing that. I'm glad they did not inherit that from me because in our household, I'm probably the only one that doesn't drink water. Their drink of choice 24/7 is water for everything. Water for, aside from coffee in the morning, but like water for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, before we go to bed, water for everything. We don't have soda in this household. We have milk for like cooking usually, but like, I mean, we should probably drink more milk, but come on, comparatively, water is probably the thing we should be drinking the most. I'm proud of them for doing that. You know what? Doc brings up vitamins. Someone told me, again, I don't know if this feels like a fad thing, but people have been putting electrolytes in their water, which I understand electrolytes, same thing. Like Gatorade had its day, but again, Gatorade to me is like, that's just a sugary drink. Even if you get sugar-free, it still feels like a sugary drink. But there are these little powder packets that came with these I haven't yet used yet, and it's electrolytes, and they've got some really cool flavors like coconut lime and stuff like that. And people tell me that by putting their electrolytes in the water, they feel more energized for the day. Maybe I'll have to do a little experiment during one of my like writing sprints, and I will put electrolytes in my water and we'll see. But yeah, this is my own little personal journey of just trying to be better about water and health and getting outside and all the other things. Y'all will notice, well, if you've been following since the beginning, I have that segment that I want to do, which is Tales and Trails, and take you guys on walks and talk while I'm, walking and show you the goats and show you my dogs while we're walking. No big deal. I'm still also trying to figure that out. Like, let's go back to the whole, like, I'm trying to figure out how to add music to my stream. But I am told through Google search that I can stream directly from my phone. And when I do, it's the vertical video, which I feel I'm seeing other people do streams like what I want to do, which is just walking and talking. And it's in the rectangular horizontal form. But when I try to do it, it doesn't work. So I have kind of sort of put a pause on the Tales and Trails until I figure that out. But also I don't want to put a pause on it because it's just fun to take you guys on walks and talk with you while I'm walking. Yeah, I get the idea of the electrolytes, but it's just, when you haven't heard anybody, like electrolytes have been around forever. Gatorade has been around forever, and yet all of a sudden everyone's talking about electrolytes. So then my brain goes, whatever this is, it's a fad thing, and it'll just pass. And my brain tells me that. I understand. Electrolytes are good for you, I'm sure. It's just my brain wants to immediately run the other direction when something feels like a fad or a trend, because 99% of the time it is just a fad or a trend. So But yes, I do have these electrolytes. I do think they will be good for me, and they are sugar free, and the flavors look interesting. I just have not taken that little step to add them to my water because my brain is telling me that like I'm so used to putting the Mio in my water that my brain is telling me anything different will just be water and I won't like it. Why? Why am I so against drinking just water? I don't know. So when you're watching other Twitch streams, folks, and they have the hydrate me button, just know that they're probably enjoying their water. And when you click the hydrate me button on my stream, it's an effort. I do it because I love you guys. So, all right, I have a few minutes to chat about stuff I'm going to work on for the next focus session. That 40 minutes was really good. I hope that was good for you guys. That sounded dirty, but we're just going to let it sit. All right. Um so, let's see. What do I have to work on? I get to work on creative stuff. Woo! All right. So, I think I need to work on the secret project for a minute because they've been asking for stuff from me since last week. And last week was hectic, as I'll, recap. Zoop, zoop, zoop. Last week was hectic. Birthdays, all the things. Mother's Day. So they're waiting on me, and I have a couple days to get it done. So I think I'm going to work on that first. Because the horror short story submission, I think I still have until like June 1st. So I have a little bit more leeway, and those edits are going to be fairly minor. It's really I'm just going to talk a little bit about this. Okay, Whisper House Press. I've submitted short stories before, and I've contributed to a fair amount of other projects. And Whisper House Press, I'm very impressed with because they are the only folks I have submitted to that I feel really go above and beyond to make sure that what they are receiving as submissions is not AI generated. I mean, the lengths that I had to go to submit a short story and everything that they outlined as like, here's what you have to do. If you're going to submit in this format, we need to be able to see every version of your document. You need to give us like access to view your document in this manner so that we can see the timestamps, so that we can see that you have been typing in this document and you haven't just copy and pasted an entire, from somewhere, which I thought was really interesting because since that has happened, I have seen other areas that I want to submit to. For example, I'm really dying to get into some kind of project where I can lean into my Filipino roots and some Filipino folklore. I have so many ideas of things I want to do with it. And there was a project, they were looking for what they call Filipinos in the diaspora, Filipinos who do not live in the Philippines, to submit their stories. And I thought, man, this is it. This is the project. I want to get into this. And I asked them, because I looked at their submission outlines and I'm like, this could so easily be an entirely AI generated project because of their submission requirements. So I asked them, like, can I ask, like, what measures are you taking to ensure that the submissions you get are not AI generated? I'm just curious. And they never responded. And that was really disheartening for me because I do want to be a part of that project, but I just don't want to take my time and effort to write something from the heart and have it be amongst a bunch of AI garbage. So anyway, all that to say, I was very impressed with Whisper House Press. I made my submission. They accepted it. They have asked for a couple of updates, which are very minor. And I'm very happy to do that for them because the questions that they asked made sense. They were like, okay, look, you wrote this story. I just want to understand, from the writer's perspective, what were you intending with this to happen or with this to happen? Do you have an answer for why this happened? Because this is a little like a gray area. So they took the time to read it. They are thinking about it. and they're actively asking for edits. I'm just, I'm impressed. I'm impressed. So happy to do those. Going to do those later, though. I have a lot of time. So the secret project, it's not that it's secret. It's just that here's the thing. I'm brand new to the project and it's kind of a monthly release. So I want to be kind of indoctrinated a little bit more in their process and their product before I just start saying things that are untrue, right? I want to understand how it works. So I have some things I need to get to them. And I have about a minute before we get into focus. So I'm going to switch screens here. Hopefully we don't break stream again, or I guess maybe we didn't and I did. I don't know. But all right. So I'm going to work on that now. I'm very excited because this secret project, I do get to do a little bit of some of my Filipino roots, which hopefully in a future stream I can talk more about. Like I said, I just kind of want to give it at least a month to see what happens, and then I can start telling everyone about this. All right, so I'm going to... Oh, where's my timer? Everything got misplaced. Whoop, there it goes. Okay, so you can see my focus timer, right? I can see my focus timer. Done. Can I see the chat? I don't know. Let's see. Always show messages. Okay. I think I fixed things. I don't know. All right. I'm going to start this time and I will see you 40 minutes after. I hope you guys are having a productive time. Let me know what you're working on with this next stretch. Let me see what can I tell you about what I'm doing. Okay, so what I am doing is I am submitting request for character art for a very specific character that I will be writing from her perspective. And she is based on my grandma. I can at least say that, right? Like, that's not IP, that's my grandma. I'm so excited about that. So I have some stuff to type up, some reference images to put together, a write-up to do, and an article to do in her point of view. So that's what I'm going to get to work on. You tell me what you're working on in this next 40 minutes, and I will see you on the other side. All right. Ooh, let's hope the stream doesn't break on me again. Let's go to here. Haha. All right. What a good work session. I think the 40 minutes feels good. I might try with the next stream like 30 minutes, but I don't know. The 40 minutes is feeling like a good sweet spot for me. Um and then really the breaks, I mean like I have a 15-minute timer, but it's really just kind of, what do we want to talk about? What do we want to do? Let's see. I am writing up right now. So I wrote up my character art request and I wrote up my bio for myself. All these I kind of already had, but I spent some time really cleaning it up and just making sure that everything was clear, or clearly described, especially in the case of the art request. Um, because I'm kind of basing this character off of my grandmother, there are some things I know will probably not be able to be strictly Filipino, but at least I can provide some reference images for the artist, some reference details and links for tattoos. My grandmother actually didn't have like the traditional Filipino tattoos, but this character will. Um, and yeah, there's some other things I've added in there. I'm really excited to get going on this project. So spent some time working on that. I haven't submitted it yet. I was just about to do that. And I could probably, if I had just 2 more minutes, would submit it. But I think I might go ahead and end the stream here. I'm torn. Right now it's showing that I've been live for an hour, right? But I had the other stretch before this. I really want to do a longer session, but I feel like this is just always a good spot for me to break away. It's also lunchtime for me. I don't know. Maybe these 2.5 hour sprints are good. I don't know. We're going to experiment with that. Let's see. So what other stuff do I have to do today? Here comes my Linda. Okay, so aside from the character stuff I mentioned, I also have StoryCon submissions to do. So for those of you who have followed me, I am a huge supporter of StoryCon and Operation Literacy. They and I believe that reading, writing, creativity, all of that should be made available to all children, not just those that can afford books or those that can afford to have, the teaching, the community, the support. So, anyway, StoryCon just happened in February. It was an amazing event. I absolutely love doing events with them. And StoryCon will again be in February, and yet they are already asking for those of us that will be presenting to start submitting what, workshops we're going to be doing, what panels we're going to be doing. So I have to put a little bit of thought into that, and I do need to submit that also. Maybe not today, but probably in the next couple days. So I'm going to start thinking about that as well today. Last year, let's see. So last year, I say that, February, a few months ago, I did a panel on horror writing, which I absolutely enjoyed. It was my first, it's not like it's been my first panel. I've done panels, but it was my first panel as a fiction writer, being on a panel with other fiction writers. And it just had a different vibe, I guess. I don't know, than doing panels that are related to tabletop or game design. And I really enjoyed that. I not that I didn't expect to, but it just felt different than doing panels with game design in mind. So I think I would love to do another panel with authors, and I have to think about what that would be and would I moderate it. I also moderate it. So the horror panel I did not moderate. Did I? Hold on. There were two panels. One was horror. I did not moderate that one. It was scripts. It was script writing. That's what it was. Yes. Oh, I have to think about that. So I did a panel. That one, there was me and two other authors who have broken out into script writing, and I was able to moderate that one. And moderating was great too. I do love to have a little bit of control. I am a little bit of a control freak. Sorry. So I do enjoy moderating because then I can kind of lead the conversation, keep things engaging, keep the ball rolling, highlight people when they need to be highlighted for their particular skill set. So I really enjoyed that as well. I have to think about what I would moderate if I were going to do another panel. They do have a track for gaming, but not necessarily from the standpoint of publishing, like game publishing. And maybe that would be interesting to them. I'm not sure, because the gaming track is also, I mean, they opened it up to adults this last year, but it does feel a little geared towards kids. And so maybe they wouldn't find publishing a game as interesting. Just some things to think about. Yeah, so that's on my docket for this week. So let me get back to my to-do list. Maybe I should add this as a pretty nerdy points cash in, is that I sing whatever I'm doing. La 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 la. All right. To do. Where's my tracking? All right. StoryCon presentation and panel submissions on the docket this week. I'm going to work on more Twitch updates. Oh, they are so frustrating. Why can't it just be point and click? I understand why it can't be, but it just needs to be, because it is such a frustration of mine, and I want to make the stream better for y'all, but man, I have to dig deep for the patience. Woo-saw when I'm doing Twitch streaming stuff, updates. Oh man. Okay. I gotta finish this character art submission, all the character details for this secret, not so secret project. And then I gotta do my Doom Scroll short story submission updates. I think that is plenty for this week. I'm sure there will be more. Oh, and today is Tuesday. So it is my what I call my accountability Tuesday. I don't know if I've talked about this before on this stream, but as a writer, word count tends to be universally recognized as the way to track your progress. And it, for me, has always made me feel less than. I don't know why, other than that the work I do, because it is not just fiction writing, word count is just not as valuable to me to track progress. And it took so many years of fighting that system, being in even to this day, I am in so many different writing communities, and their accountability is all word count. And it makes me feel weird when either word count doesn't feel good to me at all, or when so I'll submit my word count and I'm like, hey, 500 words for today, but I did so much all day. Why is everybody reporting 3,000 words, 5,000 words in a day? It just doesn't feel good. So it was demoralizing, and I couldn't keep up with it. I couldn't stick with it. I couldn't find the joy in it. Like, why do people do it? And so then I also couldn't really relate to any of the communities that use word count to track their progress. Writing Excuses, the podcast, is something I should probably, even though it's not like I belong to them or it's a paid advertisement, but I might put them up in my little ad stream thing here, because in my little square at the bottom of this side of this screen, whenever I'm writing, I love them. And at the beginning of this year, they had an episode where they were talking about their personal processes, and it was such an eye opener and so valuable to me to have people who are doing this as their job, as their main source of income, to say, well, my process is different from your process, is different from your process, is different from your process. Let's talk about our processes. And, you know, of the 4 people on the stream, I think 2 were fiction writers. One is, I think he was like an editor / agent. And also they have dipped into game design. And then there is Aaron Roberts, who I met at a writing retreat, at the Writing Excuses writing retreat. And I feel I closely identify with, because she is a fiction writer, game designer, script writer, all the things that I have been doing, freelance writer, and just has her toes in so many different projects. So when they all started sharing their different processes, Erin shared that her process is that word count sucks. And so what she does instead is she has an Excel spreadsheet and kind of tracks each individual thing that she does as its own line item. And it also assigns it like a status, just started, in progress, complete, something to that matter. It was just so eye-opening for me that I could track my work in a different way. And I immediately created this spreadsheet, and I started using it at the beginning of this year, along with these, well, not these streams, but doing writing sprints in my Discord, that the productivity just soared. And then my motivation soared, because I was able to track not just daily progress, but like really daily progress is harder for me. I do weekly. Because on a daily, I may complete one thing, but on a weekly, I may complete 3 to 12 different things, depending. And so I just find that kind of batch reporting to be more useful for me. Again, my life is too busy, man. I don't know if everybody else's life is like this, but it's just daily reporting. I don't know. So anyway, so I decided Tuesdays would be my day for accountability. And I now take this spreadsheet, and all I do is I just take a screenshot of kind of like the current-ish month and then maybe the future. And then I will drop in a screenshot with a little write-up, something little, like, man, boy, these things, like, it was such a good week. I knocked off this, and boy, it felt good to do this, something to just kind of add a little bit more narrative to my screenshot than just a screenshot. Or I will even explain like why I'm behind on deadlines, because life got away from me, and Mother's Day and my son's birthday, and so anyway, all that to say, that is another thing I need to do today. So, word of encouragement, I guess, for today would be, hey, don't compare your processes to anybody else's processes. I think that earlier in my stream, someone had mentioned about, the self-consciousness. And this is my journey this year is, I am a little self-conscious. I do feel like I'm on a little bit of an island doing what I do. But I've kind of always been that way in my whole life. I'm half Filipino, half white. Do I fully identify with my full Filipino family? No. Do I fully identify with my full white family? No. When I'm in writer communities, can I fully engage and relate with people who write fiction all the time? No, and they don't relate to me. But I'm also not just a game designer. I just don't have my feet fully in any one place. So I am used to that. I'm used to that feeling. The difference is I'm finally not letting myself care about it. I'm doing what feels good. I'm doing what feels right. I don't know if it's right, but that's okay. You're coming along with me for the journey and the question, and maybe you'll see the answer. But I think it's important. I think, man, listening to that one podcast episode was just so eye opening for me. And I think it's so important that other people see that just because that one way is the one way that everybody is lauding as like the best and it works, or why don't you have more progress done? Like, maybe you do have more progress done. It's just the way that you look at it. So I'm advocating for that. That's my word of encouragement for the day is, if something's working for you, don't let anybody else tell you that it's not a good way to do it. If it works, it works. That's what's important. Get the work done. Um, so, boy, I got preachy at the end there. All right. Yo, folks, I didn't even go to the bathroom. I don't know why I'm announcing it like it's a huge deal. I really do have to go though. And so I think since I'm going to end this stream here, this has been fun, folks. I think I'm stumbling my way into Twitch streaming writing sprints and finding what works for me. Music, I'll figure that out. But this was a good one. This felt like a really good session. So I hope y'all enjoyed it. And I'm going to go have some lunch and go to the bathroom. Happy Tuesday.